Hello, Desi. Thank you so much for being on our Spotlight series for the Best in Utah Pelvic Health. I'm delighted to chat with you today, and I'm just going to introduce our audience to you and who you are, and then we'll jump into all the fun questions I have.
Okay.
Awesome. So, it was called to midwifery in 2020. She trained under many exceptional Utah midwives and completed the requirements for her CPM and LDEM in early 2024. A proponent of client-centered care, Desi loves to guide mothers to their best choices for nurturing the next generation. As a registered dietitian and herbalist, Desi also carries a passion for wholesome, nourishing foods and herbs that build strong bodies, improve health outcomes, and nurture generations. She believes in and teaches small, simple, sustainable changes to promote longevity and vitality. Thank you so much, Desi, for being on the Spotlight series.
Thanks for asking me, Betty.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump right into the questions of what made you decide to be a midwife and tell us your journey to that because you were called into this. So,
Yes, I've run a farm for probably about since 2011, and we had a co-op and met lots of wonderful people who would come and help us. And when 2020 started, one of those people called me and said, "I'm pregnant and I'm really worried about this COVID thing. If I can't deliver in the hospital, will you deliver my baby?" And I just was stunned because I said, "Why are you calling me?" And she said, "Because you help all your animals birth babies." And I said, "No, I don't. I just let them do it themselves." But in that moment, the spirit just hit me hard and said, "She's not going to be the last to ask you. You need to learn as much as you can, as quickly as you can." And
wow.
I was very stunned and completely like it just came out of nowhere. And I have a special needs child, my youngest of 7, and takes pretty much round the clock care. And I just thought, how on earth am I going to do this? I don't know how I'm going to follow this prompting with her. But at the same time, it felt so right. Everything in my life had been leading up to this. And it felt so right that I thought, why didn't I start this 20 years ago? And I just knew that it was my path and what I was supposed to pursue. And so then I set off on the journey of trying to find out how to do that with this special needs child that I have. Lots of programs will require you to fly to different states for training, or just the cost of college at that point was just out of the question for my family and with her needs. And so I finally remembered that I have a friend down the street who was a doula, and I asked her, and then she hooked me up with an amazing midwife in Utah County. And from there, I met so many wonderful people and learned about the preceptorship program where you could train as a midwife right where you are and be an apprentice to many midwives. And so I've worked with probably about 12 different midwives. And it's just been such a blessing because I feel like I stand on their shoulders, right? I am nothing, but they have helped me develop and grow into a midwife. And I'm so grateful for that program that allows you to do study on your own. You do all the study, you take a national exam at the end of that, a board exam, but you get all your experience through working with these amazing women. And there's all sorts of styles of midwifery out there. And I just got to see a whole breadth of that through working with these amazing midwives. And I would just love to name them all, but I'm afraid I would forget them. But the midwife community is just amazing in Utah. And they have been such a blessing to my path and my journey and helping me fulfill this mission that I'm supposed to be embark on. So
That's
glad
amazing.
to finally be at this end of it.
What a cool story. What a cool story. Kate, what do you feel like makes you different in the way that you deliver care?
Um, One thing is that I'm a classical midwife. I've trained with a lot of classical midwives, so I don't know that that's super different, but it's not the medical model of midwifery. It is a holistic, very client-centered um, care where you're collaborating together as the midwife and the client. I also am passionate about plants and herbs. That's probably my first passion. I don't know why I raise animals. I raise a lot of plants too, and a lot of herbs. I have a lot of herbs on my farm that I use, and I make my own herbal products, but that's not so distinct either. So I don't know that what makes me distinct because I just love these women who are midwives, but I do have a deep faith and trust in life and life's processes, whether that be life, death. Um, Probably the most thing that makes me most distinct is that I have the special needs daughter who had a complicated birth and complicated labor, and and pregnancy. And I have learned to live day by day and to trust the Lord. And bottom line, like I never know what's going to go on with her. And I just have to turn over all my control to heaven. And that's what I do when I go into a birth space is I know this is the Lord's plan and I'm instrumental in really tuning into what he wants me to do and then really trusting the outcome. And all those outcomes have been good so far. So,
Awesome.
sometimes things arise in women's lives where it is unpredictable, and the pregnancies are complicated, and having those resources and that compassion and empathy is such a blessing because I've been there and I know what that looks like and I know how life-changing it can be. And so hopefully we don't work with too many of those patients because we refer them on. But in the beginning, when we're screening for that, I understand that part of their life.
Totally, totally. What a unique perspective there for sure. Okay, who would be an ideal fit for you?
I love clients who are motivated to take responsibility for their health and who want to direct their care. I love to give suggestions and promote wellness, but I prefer working with clients who recognize that their stewardship is themselves and their baby and their body, and that I'm just there to guide their choices and to give them the information so they can make the best decision for not only for their pregnancy, but for their lives and for their growing families. So really motivated clients
Yeah,
or
okay.
anybody who would like to learn to be.
Yeah, right, right. Okay, what does the process look like to work with you then? Did someone just call you? Do they go to your website? How do they start working with you?
Yes, I have a website or they could contact me. I think the first thing is to have a consultation either by a Zoom or by a phone call or in person, whatever they prefer. I think it's really important that people realize that not every midwife is a match for every person and
Mhm.
that there are so many amazing midwives in the valley, and you need to find that person who you feel safe with and who you want at your birth, who you can trust and really um, bond with. Because in midwifery care, it's all about that bond. It's all about that trust of your provider that matters, right? It's not just a one time interaction. I see you and catch your baby and walk out and see you 6 weeks later. It's a whole journey of really promoting trust and safety so that when you're in that vulnerable labor birth stage and postpartum, that you want that person in your space. And so I recognize that not everybody is a fit for everybody. And it's really important to sit down and interview and get really comfortable with who you want in that birth space. And so that's what I encourage, just a free consultation to see if we're a match.
Awesome, awesome, cool. And then talk to us about your clinical ethos on recovery and what recovery means. What does it look like postpartum? You can go any direct. There's multiple directions you could go with that, but give us a short and simple version of like what does recovery mean to you clinically?
That is what I love about being a midwife is that no woman is left alone
Mm,
after she delivers because that is the fourth trimester.
mm,
And in classical midwifery, we meet with those patients the day after they have a baby, a few days after they have a baby, a week after they have the baby, 2 weeks, and then at the 6 week, and anytime in between when that woman needs an extra boost. We love to refer for herbal supplements, food-based supplements, if people are struggling with mental challenges after they have their baby. We love to refer to pelvic floor therapists like Reborn Health if women need help with cystocells or rectocells or prolapsing or just aren't feeling up to themselves, right? And so we're just there to either do what we can with lactation, with healing and emotions, and then we refer to providers when it's out of our scope of care. So it is just so critical for me to connect with other people in the community who are there to take care of women and to give them the resources they need so they're not just left to struggle on their own because that fourth trimester can be really challenging and no woman should be left unsupported. It's the groundwork for her mothering of that child and that child's position in that family, and it lasts a long time. Those 6 weeks or 8 weeks really matter. We like to give women those resources.
amazing, amazing. Love that. Kate, what's something that most people don't know that you think that they should know about what you do?
I think that most women or most people believe that birth is dangerous and that it's scary and that it has to be medically managed. And I, of course, would love to help people understand that birth is a physiological, beautiful experience. I say I respect birth. I don't necessarily trust birth, right? Birth can be many, many avenues of all sorts of things. But as a midwife in an out of hospital setting, we are looking for pink flags, not red flags, right? We're looking for those warning signs and seeing, do we have the scope and the skills to manage this at home? And we often do. And we can change those pink flags into green flags. If the pink flags continue to be dangerous, then we transfer for care needed in a hospital. And we're so grateful for the collaboration of hospitals and medical people who have greater skills for dealing with complications. And so our ideal and my ideal is I'm there to keep your birth and your baby and your body safe. And I really believe in communication with you, with a client, to say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Here's the risks, here's the benefits, here's the alternatives, here's what happens if you do nothing. And then we can make a decision together what the best course of action is. By and large, most births are so amazing when women start prenatally with good nutrition and build that trust in their providers. It is the most amazing, empowering experience, which helps women for the rest of their lives become the mother and the wife that they want to be.
Absolutely. So cool. Kate, what is there anything special that you want to promote to the audience watching, whether that's like an event coming up or something that you have going on?
Well, I am a registered dietitian. I love nutrition and I am an herbalist, self-taught, but I've been studying herbs and plants for 30 years. And I also do placenta encapsulation. So anybody who contacts me from this, let's give you 10% off of placenta encapsulation or a nutrition consultation or herbs that you might want to pick out. So just mention Betty the last interview and we'll give you 10% off.
Well, that's so generous of you. Thank you so much for our audience. Kate, this is my favorite question. What is the main thing that you want to be known for?
I I had a client who gave me this necklace and it says faith on it. And I want to be known for someone who is full of faith and has faith enough to move mountains, right? And that's how I feel like when I'm a hand of God, a servant of God, and my love for him and respect for his work outweighs everything and is the guiding hand in my life. And so if I can grow in faith and be a woman of faith, that is my goal and mission in life.
Amazing. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Kate, where can we find you? Website, social media, anything like that that you can share with the audience so they can locate you and work with you?
So you can search Google Mother Heart Midwifery. I'm located in Harriman. I travel to clients' homes or pick up placentas wherever I'm hired. Yeah, if you just look up Mother Heart Midwifery, I should pull up on Google. I do have a website link there, and I also have my phone number and contact information. So,
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Desi, for being on our Spotlight series. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and thanks for all that you do in our community here.
thank you so much, Betty, and same to you. So grateful for pelvic floor therapists. They're amazing.
You're welcome.